All right. All right, guys, welcome. We are excited to be with you guys tonight. And just before we start, a couple things. Be sure to mute yourself. And if you think of some questions as we are going tonight, feel free to put them in the chat. And I think that you guys will find this is going to be a very informative webinar. We'll keep this to under 30 minutes. And we are excited to share something with you that we are all very passionate about that are sharing tonight. And that is the potential of what a Shaklee business could mean for you. So tonight we have Judy, Francine, and myself, Amanda. We are all going to be taking turns sharing a little bit about our stories, but we partner together for this webinar to, kind of share a little bit about, and I think you guys will find it to be interesting of how we all have different backgrounds and different reasons for why we started our businesses, but we all are on the same mission, which is to help people to make a difference, improve the health and lives of others. And a really fun fact about the three of us is that it's pretty impressive. If you were to add together the years that we have been building our Shaklee businesses, we have been building a business for over 85 years altogether. It's pretty, I thought that was a good statistic. So, all right, guys, let me get into sharing a little bit about my story. So, my name is Amanda Villarreal. I got a little echo going on. Myself and my husband Art live here in Zeeland, Michigan, and we have 5 kids, and we are definitely a busy family, but alongside being a mom of 5 and my Shaklee business, my husband is a full-time engineer, and I also have a fitness business called AV Wellness. I'm a certified personal trainer, group fitness instructor, a nutritionist, and a practical health practitioner. And I have been in the industry for a very long time. I do have an in-person studio and I also have a fitness app, but something to make sure that you do know about a business like this that is very important to highlight is that you do not need a degree. You don't need a certification. This is not something that sometimes I think we can feel intimidated when we hear people's credentials, and that is not the case. This is such a diverse community, and you guys will hear just even amongst our stories. So my Shaklee journey actually began in a little different way than many do. Many people start actually for the business opportunity that Shaklee offers, but my journey began because of my own health story. So I was actually born with a very rare vascular condition. It's called Klippel-Trenaunay syndrome, and it actually affects from my neck all the way down to my foot on my left side. And it is a very, very unique condition. And when I was very young, they told me many things that I would never be able to do, that I wouldn't be able to have kids, which we have 5. I was told, to stop all activity, do not play sports, to be aware that I'd probably lose my left leg to amputation by the time I'd be 18. And I believe that God puts opportunities in front of us for a reason. And as I was, continuing to be told all these things, they were giving me all these options of experimental things they could try. Nobody really knew what to tell me because it was so unique. But I eventually got to the point where I knew I had to take my health into my own hands. Just chose to continue to be active. But when I was around the age of 18, I started to have some health issues. And this is where Shaklee became part of my picture and story and what has continued till today. Well, when I started to have this health situation, I was having issues with being dizzy and I was passing out. And the personal trainer that I was shadowing at the time had asked me if I'd ever heard of Shaklee. I had not. I went home and I asked my mom, who worked at a health food store, if she'd ever heard of it. And she said, "Yeah, I've heard of it. I've heard it's a good company. It's worth trying." I was basically severely anemic. So I started out with the Women's Vitally, and it had iron in it. And actually, within a few weeks, my iron levels significantly increased. And that was my first introduction to Shaklee. I was very excited. I was feeling better. I still to this day have never been on any medications for my condition and have continued to learn more and more about nutrition and health. I was in college at the time, started to introduce one Shaklee product as I learned about them, introduced, the cleaning products because I was into understanding, more about how can non-toxic living be more beneficial. And as we got married and started to have kids, that was when it was very apparent that, you know what? as we are feeling great and we are using these products, as I started to get pregnant, every kid has been a Shaklee baby. I only use Shaklee products. That this was something that was very unique and we wanted to share. And that's when we started growing our business. We grew pretty quickly once we saw, that, hey, this is something that is unique and special and people need to hear about it. There are so many unsafe options out there that was really, if I'm looking at fitness and I'm training people from an exercise perspective, we need to look at wellness as the big picture. And our nutrition component is huge, and that ties in with the supplement. So we, continue to grow our business and now do make a full-time income with Shaklee. We've been on, I would say, I believe about 9 Shaklee incentive trips now. And you know what? It's a part of our lifestyle. It's a part of our life. Our kids are part of this, which is a little unique to a lot of people, how they run their businesses. But I think that's the fun part about this is, you know what? We can all decide how we want to do this business. But for us, we wanted to have the opportunity to be flexible, to be able to work when we chose, but yet also to, continue to have our family be a part of this. They've been on trips with us. And I think it's very exciting to see that, Shaklee has created all of these great products, and they have continued to lead the industry in many ways. Francine, I'm gonna have you go to the next slide here. But as they've continued to, create these products throughout the years, yes, we have many products, hundreds of products, but we don't want that to be, scary to us. Instead, that's actually motivation for us to realize, wow, there are so many different opportunities and ways that we can help people. And their history of the products that we see today, I would say Shaklee has created most of the products that you see today in the health and wellness industry. If you look at even the very first multivitamin Dr. Shaklee created in 1915, as you continue to read through some of these bullet points from, the astronauts, we've created products that have been used for them to help with hydration, from Olympians, the people that have the highest and strictest standards for safety. And from a fitness professional, I have seen many products throughout the years that have come and gone and have very dangerous side effects. And I can always feel good that knowing if our products are used with Olympians, I know they're going to be great for any person that I would possibly recommend them to because I know they're safe. And the reason we know they're safe is because of the clinical studies. There are many, many, many peer-reviewed medical journals, third-party studies that are done to not just make us think that the products are working, but we know because of these studies. And that's very different compared to many of the companies today. So if you look at here also, as the history has gone, Shaklee has, been around for almost 70 years, which is amazing. And if you look at how we've started, way back when, the original building, that, their model has actually stayed the same pretty much all of these years, that they developed one of the very earliest forms of network marketing. And again, it's still the same model today. And as we look at, what sets up a company for success, Shaklee has all the pieces, from the innovation to the technology to the business model to the products. And one of the things that I tend to say this often, because I do believe this is part of my passion, what got me really started with Shaklee, is the fact that I know the products are safe, but they're also natural. And we can actually state that we are the #1 natural nutritional company in North America. That is very impressive. That means that we know the products are safe. We're also the most clinically proven wellness company in the world. So, if you're looking for options that are safe and work, you're not going to find any better options than Shaklee. And all these years, there has really been only 2 owners of Shaklee. We have Dr. Shaklee here, which is, a lot of people are not aware that there is actually a Dr. Shaklee. That's where the company name came from. And his mission and vision have still continued through today. And this is a great quote from him, that basically he wanted to create a company that would improve the lives of everyone it touched. And it is amazing how many people have been impacted from Shaklee. But to be honest with you, we are just getting started. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Judy here to share with us next. Judy's muted.
Judy's a good listener. She muted herself. There you are, Judy.
Yeah, well, I had some background noise, so I had to. So, yes, I'm so happy to share this evening. Thank you, Amanda. That was amazing. I cannot believe that you have 5 kids. You look so young, and so calm. I think I would be pretty frazzled if I had 5 kids. So I'm Judy Holt, and I'm actually from British Columbia, Canada. And so the beautiful thing about the three of us collaborating for this event is that we're, from all different parts of, two different countries and two different parts of the US. So isn't that interesting that, we've connected, and mostly we've connected because of conferences and trips like travel. And, the community that we have with Shaklee is amazing. So I'm a mom of two, although my kids are all growing up. 32 and 34, and I have a granddaughter that is 5. That's my family in the bottom left corner there. And I've been a wellness advocate and in the industry for over 30 years. When I first started my Shaklee business, I was not looking for anything. I wasn't looking for vitamins, I wasn't looking for a business, and that's what I saw Shaklee as being, both of those. But I was newly married and I knew we were going to start a family. And I did have that in the back of my mind that, what kind of an income stream could I do working from home? So when I did get pregnant with my daughter, I was a full-time secretary for the provincial government. And I just knew that I did not want to go back to that position. So when I was introduced to Shaklee, all of a sudden vitamins kind of caught my attention. And health and wellness had always been a passion of mine. And I saw that the company values were really aligned with mine. Environmentally friendly cleaning products, non-toxic, home, especially with having children. Creating that extra income stream with flexibility was really huge for me because I knew I wanted to be able to be there for my kids and go take them on, the sports and field trips and all the things over the years. So what my business has meant to me a lot is freedom, flexibility, travel, community. These are some pictures from our trips that we've been on. And the top right corner is my husband and I in a house that we built in Mexico, and we live here for 5 months of the year. I'm here right now. So when people are complaining about winter storms, I'm like, well, I can't really relate. It's about 30 degrees Celsius here most days and sunny. But I remember I spent many, many years in cold Canadian winters. So how we managed to do this, to have the dual lifestyle, is because of my Shaklee business. And so partnering with Shaklee was a huge piece of it because it gave me the freedom and flexibility to earn an income from anywhere. Really all you need is your phone. A computer is nice, but really you can do quite a good business just from your phone nowadays, which is pretty amazing. And then I wanted to say that, you have the option also of just being involved with Shaklee at the smallest level. Maybe you just want to make an extra $300 or $500 a month. And it doesn't have to be a full-time income. When I first started, that's all I wanted to do was just make enough to pay for my products, and it's been a full-time income for years. Just want to share a little bit about the mission and vision of Shaklee. So Roger Barnett is our owner, chairman, and CEO, and it's very rare to have somebody at the helm that is all three of those. Usually you have, an owner and he's kind of a silent partner. He's not actually the chairman and the CEO of the company, or vice versa. So I love that about Roger, that he is the main guy. And his vision is that we will be the strongest force on the planet for positive change when we have 10 million members in the Shaklee family. So that's a pretty big goal. And I love his mission and his vision.
Hey, Judy, do you want to
Yes.
start recording?
It should be recording. It says it is up on the top. It's recording. Yep.
Really?
Yeah. It says on my end that it is.
Very good. Whew, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're all good.
Thanks.
So product quality. So this is huge, right? I mean, what you put in your body, you want to make sure that, it's being absorbed, and the clinical research that Shaklee does is really what sets it apart. Amanda talked about this a little bit before, the free of harmful chemicals. Did you know that there's over 2,500 harmful chemicals being used in skin and body care products? So Shaklee refuses to use any of those. We have Beyond Organic certification, peer-reviewed third-party scientific studies, and we can say the most clinically proven wellness company in the world. So that's something I can really stand behind, and so can my family. And community, I mentioned this a little bit before. Community is such a huge piece because nowadays, a lot of us are working from home, and we don't get the community. We don't get the connection that we used to have. And that is really important for someone who's a stay-at-home mom, or somebody who works from home, or somebody that's retired. It's really nice to be able to have that extended family feeling. And Shaklee has always felt like that to me. When you go on a trip, it's like, wow, or to a conference, you get about 30 hugs a day average, I think. Well, where else do you get that? You know, it just feels like the family's reuniting together and there's not any competition. It's just there's room for everyone. So you really get a lot of support across the whole company. And our ambassadors are from all generations, all ages, all genders, all backgrounds. We've got lawyers, we've got accountants, we've got doctors, we've got stay-at-home moms, we've got hobby builders, we've got everybody in between. So there really is something for everyone here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Judy and Amanda. I love hearing your stories and I love seeing your pictures of the trips because I think actually that's the first time we all met in person was on a trip. Amanda, I remember you standing in line with you on a cruise and you were pregnant with little Arthur and he just popped in a few minutes ago. So welcome everyone. We're so glad you're here. My name is Francine Rolling and I'm getting to share with you tonight from a cold and snowy Missouri. And I'm so excited to be here and just share with you. I love Amanda and Judy's stories, and they're very different than my story. When I started with Shaklee, I needed some money, to put it point blank. I was a school social worker. My girls were young. That picture of those two little girls in the bottom left-hand corner is my two daughters when I first started this business in 1999, so 25 years ago today. And I was in major debt. I was in a struggling marriage. It actually ended up going into divorce. And so I was a single mom for a number of years, almost a decade. And I was in survival mode. So I had started my business. I grew it to a leadership rank when the divorce hit. And if any of you have been in a position of extreme stress before, you really do go into survival mode. So I wasn't thinking of growing my business. I wasn't thinking about sharing Shaklee. But what was beautiful was that I had already done that. So when we started this business, I remember my first check was $13 and I was thrilled. And so, sometimes you hear about like these get rich quick schemes, like when I was growing up, it used to be like in the back of magazines. Now I know so much stuff comes to you through the internet. This is not a get rich quick scheme opportunity. This is a legitimate business. And so it grows over time. So I was thrilled with my first check. I have pictures of trips that we've been on, thanks to Shaklee on this screen. But when I first started, I was looking for money to pay credit card minimums. I was looking for money to be able to take my girls for an ice cream cone. Um, it, the dollar menu at McDonald's, which is funny to mention that because here we are, a health and wellness company. But hey, we were frequent flyers at the dollar menu at McDonald's because back then it was actually $1 and we could afford that. But I was on a really strict budget. And so the money that I earned through this business, it was, I say extra, but it actually gave my kids a lifestyle that was similar to what they had already had and experienced that their other friends were experiencing. When I went through my divorce, and my girls were little, but they had never lived in any other house other than the home that we were living in. And that was my goal at the time, was to be able to keep them in that home. That was the only home that they knew. And so my business, even though I wasn't growing it, it still was there and it was stable. And a little bit of money came in when people continued to order. And it was always such a blessing. And I tell people that when you work this business and build a foundation with it, it's the best insurance policy you could ever have because it does come back and pay you back like an insurance policy, right, when you need it. So that was then. That was back in the early 2000s, 1999. I sound like I'm 90 years old, but now life went on. I got remarried in 2015 and we moved across the state. So my background was in um, school social work. I was a school social worker for about 20 years. And when we moved to a very super teeny tiny little small town. And there weren't going to be many job opportunities there for me. And honestly, I didn't want to drive and I was kind of burned out from social work. So I fired up my business again. It was a great way to meet other people. It was a great way to actually everything I loved about being a social worker, I get to do in this business because you're still engaging with other people. You're still helping people achieve goals. You're still helping people there's some bumps in the road offering them resources. I get to interact with them. I loved it. I eventually grew my business to the point where I had other people on my team who were in leadership positions as well. And even though I wasn't interested in the products when I started, I'm just being really honest with you, we continue to know more and more about the products and use them, and we Shakleeized our lives, actually, everything from the supplements to the skincare to the cleaners, all of that stuff. And I started to understand that I wanted to know more about things like gut health and menopause coaching. And so I actually went on to get certifications in those fields. And so I can help my customers now with those things. So it's really interesting because sometimes you'll hear people say that Shaklee is the best personal development program you didn't know you needed. And in my case, that certainly was the truth. So I love the trips. I love the community, like Judy talked about. As you get older, sometimes it's harder to make friends, right? You don't have little kids. You're not sitting in the bleachers and stands with people. And so this is like a built-in community where people are supporting each other. And I feel like I have friends all over the world because of this business. So back when I started, like I said, I was using the money to like pay off credit cards or make minimum payments, go out for ice cream cones. Now we have grown our business and it's become money to fund our retirement accounts. We're a blended family, and so it was really important for us that our children have a relationship with each other. And so when we got married, we decided every year for Christmas, we were going to gift the kids a family vacation, kind of forced family fun. So every year we do that. We take our whole family, and now they have babies and spouses and partners. And so everybody goes on vacation. And that's one of the things that our Shaklee income helps with, as well as now college funds for our grandkids, now that we have grandkids. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about objections. And I spent a lot of time on my story because I think some of the things I shared with you about my story may play into some of the objections that you may be thinking of, or maybe you've heard about network marketing in general. I want to let you know, and Amanda and Judy have told you this too, this is a viable business. When you work it, it works for you. That's why it's not a pyramid scheme, because it's a legitimate business that will pay you for the work that you do. No one is just going to send you a check because you signed your name on a document. This takes work, but it's very possible to do this. One of my friends, who's also a client, said to me the other day that she went to the doctor recently and she lost weight. And she's like, you told me several months ago that if I did, A, B, and C, and started eating more protein and implementing this life shake into my breakfast, that I could very well lose weight. She said, I didn't quite believe you and I didn't understand it, but I did what you said. And the doctor told me I lost weight. Well, the business is kind of the same thing. If you do certain steps consistently, you will receive a reward for it. So there will always be negative Nancy's out there in your life. People's negativity is more about them than it is about you. So again, Shaklee is the best personal development program that you didn't know you needed. But we just want to let you know that not everybody is going to embrace you with open arms when you tell them you're going to do something like this. But that's okay. Just keep going if this is something you want to do. Right now, there's lots of changes going on in our world, right? Eggs are busting budgets. Who would ever think that eggs would be such a topic of conversation? There's careful consumers, companies are closing doors, but I want you to know this. Between March of 2023 and March of 2024, Shaklee grew by 10%. Most network marketing companies declined between 20 and 30%, but our company increased by 10%. So that shows the stability of this company. I've heard people say, am I going to bug people? I'm not a salesperson, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I can tell you if your question is, do I have to bug people? That's up to you. If you're annoying, I advise you not to be annoying to other people, but you do not have to be annoying. We have proven systems and resources to help you become a value-added go-to resource for other people. I still have customers from 1999. Like even when my heart wasn't fully in my business, I'd still check in on people and people fell in love with these products. Like I still have people who order since 1999 and I'm not unique. The average lifespan of a Shaklee customer is 20 years and 50% of the customers reorder. So while it's a good business practice to be sharing with people and looking for new customers, if you treat people well, 50% of them statistically will reorder. Also, as a single mom, I had a tight budget. I still do by choice. And I buy these products though because they work. They're also economical in many cases. When I was a single mom and we were, looking for money under the cushions for an ice cream cone, I always made sure I bought the Shaklee cleaners because they were super economical and they worked. You do not have to carry inventory. You don't have to buy a kit. There's not like a bunch of mailing flyers, anything like that. Shaklee has this very beautiful streamlined system too that's all online. So you can do your business like with your computer, and there's tax benefits too. So there are a lot of benefits to this business. You can be creative with how you do it. You do have to invest the time because again, it's a job, right? You don't get paid at any job in this world if you don't show up. So, but there's a streamlined process, and you could be fully online. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm also a wellness coach and I'm an author and I do public speaking. And those things are not Shaklee things. Those are other things that I do. And it's, I appreciate my Shaklee business so much because for those other things that I do, they're time consuming. I have to create content, I have to market, I have to sell, I have to ship. You don't do any of that with Shaklee. Like the company takes care of so much of that stuff for you. So I'm going to wrap this up because I want to introduce you to somebody else. But I just wanted to let you know, I started for the money, but I fell in love with the products, and I naturally just started sharing more with people. And I suspect that the same thing will happen to you. So if you do have objections, please do talk to the person who invited you to this event about that. But my best advice, and this is coming from somebody with a background, a master's degree in psychology, is just get out of your head and show up for yourself, and the possibilities are endless and beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, I'd like to invite you or introduce you to our next guest, Raquel Ledesma. Raquel, I never call you by your last name, so I hope I pronounced that right. And she is our friend from Shaklee corporate office, and it's awesome that we have the ability to connect with people at the corporate level, right? We all know each other. We have relationships too. So Raquel, I'm going to let you take it away and share what you came to share with tonight.
Thank you, Francine. And oh my gosh, hearing the stories, I must say, is the favorite part of my job is the fact that I get to hear all the stories and also be a part of the stories. Um, I've been with Shaklee for 15 years here at the corporate side, so super exciting there. Before my world in Shaklee, I did pharmaceutical sales, so definitely completely different than what our Shaklee here, mission here at Shaklee is, right? It's reactive health versus proactive health. And when I was looking for a new opportunity, even to establish my career, that was one of the big draw for Shaklee. It was the proactive health versus reactive, and really the change that it's made in my own life and my children's life. And everyone kind of hit on this, but the family aspect is true. I've actually stayed in Amanda's home. I connect with Francine on trips and Judy Holt as well. And seeing all the success in the community has been also a big draw of why I've decided to even keep my own career here at Shaklee as well. So, just to give a little support, a little bit about what I do day to day, is really to help all of you on the corporate side to be a support and a partnership with all of you. And that really could look in many ways. As you can see, I'm on this call tonight, and this is what I do. I help support our leaders in the field. Um, during some opportunities, some challenges, some best practices, overcoming challenges, building relationships. The same thing that you all do in building relationships, I do as well with the field. A lot of the things are goal settings, recognition as well. And honestly, those are all my favorite part of the job outside of course, traveling with these wonderful individuals and getting to know them as well. Another big part of my job is helping you all be successful, right? Without all of you, there's no me, and vice versa, and really helping you all be successful in earning some extra income, right? Whatever that income looks like for you and your family. I love how Francine really was authentic in sharing kind of what it looked like for her during her family's need. Amanda as well, and what the opportunity has done to Judy's life as well and her lifestyle. I definitely would love to come see you, Judy. Um, but really paving out a path of what that looks like. So, just to give you a little insight, here at Shaklee, we have a path that has your back, right? With a track record of paying out more than $9 billion in commissions over the last 65 plus years, which is absolutely amazing. And really, there's three components that you see on the screen here that is kind of the basic, the very starting point, which is share Shaklee products and earn, right? And it's 30% commission on all new customer purchases in their first 30 days, which is fantastic, not known in anywhere else in our industry. Earn 10 to 40% on all returning customers' purchases, which is also huge. As you're starting to build your clientele, they're getting on their own wellness journeys. You're supporting them during this time. It's really also allowing you to earn an income off of their purchases and earn $75 bonus for every $500 purchase by 3 or more customers each month that you have joined your team. So how does it work? As an ambassador, you always shop with a 15% discount, which is super amazing. Then you share your personalized shopping link with your contacts and earn 30% on the first 30 days of all your new customer purchases. And I'm just going to say that again, right? 30% on the first 30 days of all new customer purchase, which is amazing and a great opportunity as you're sharing Shaklee. You're excited. You have ambassadors that are excited. People are watching you. They're hearing what you have to share. They're probably seeing a difference in your own wellness journey, which is a fabulous opportunity to earn that 30% within their first 30 days as they join your team. So every time 3 or more new customers purchase a combined total of $500 of products in their first month, you earn an extra 75 bonus on top of your 30% commission. Um, and not just one time, it's every single time, right? So it's super rewarding for a brand new person as well. So let's just take a quick little example. I just love to share examples. So say you have 3 people, your gym buddy, your coworker, and your neighbor. Purchase a total of $500 of products in their first month. You earn, of course, 30%, right? So 30% of 500 is $150 as a commission only, plus a 75 bonus for a total of $225. I say not bad for sharing products you love with just 3 people, right? That's probably just enough for you to get that ice cream cone at McDonald's with today's prices. But um, so of course, after their first month, what then, right? So you continue to earn 10 to 40 on your customer product purchase whenever they shop. The commissions you can earn depends on how many of your customers are shopping, of course, and their total spending each month. The great thing about earning extra income with Shaklee is that it's pretty clear, straightforward, and really designed that you are rewarded for your efforts because we know everyone's beginning stage looks different, right? But keep in mind that it's just the very beginning of it all. What I just shared is just the very beginning. If you want more, and maybe you don't know yet, as a lot of our newly ambassadors don't understand, like, oh, I only joined this, maybe make $200 and that would change my income for my family. But once you start to see the potential and you want to earn more, expand your potential by building a team, right? Building a team of people who share products with others as well. Team building really starts when you invite new ambassadors to grow their own wellness business by sharing products with people they know as well. As a leader, you have the ability to earn even more rewards from a monthly car bonus to quarterly rewards, the annual trips that they all talked about earlier, plus qualify and unlock more bonuses as your team expands by sharing more Shaklee products. So now, how to get started, right? You can curate your own selection of products, of course, that best fits your needs and your current needs on your Shaklee, on your wellness journey. Or our most popular one, the Ready Set Wellness, which really gets you started on your foundational nutrition with Meology, which is a personalized regimen created just for you, and Life Shake powered by Leucine. And the fun part is that you actually get a free choice of your free boost. So hopefully that helps, and would love for you to talk more about the income potential with the person that invited you today. But I just want to say thank you so much for the time, and I hope you join us on our mission to bring true wellness to the world. And the great part, you get rewarded along the way. So, Francine, back to you.
Thank you, Raquel. Well, Raquel spoils us because one other thing that she brought to this call tonight is a free gift for you if you decide this is the time to sign up and you do want to create a business for yourself and a lifestyle for your family. Um, you will be gifted one of our new youth ageless wands. So some of you may have seen this on the Today Show. It was featured on the Today Show as a product several months ago, and here's just a picture of some of the results from using it. But it's a hot commodity right now when it first released. I think I broke records on my team from this one product because everybody was so excited. But this is a gift for you, again, if you decide this is a time to do this business. So just a little extra because Shaklee's always extra, and that's one of the reasons I love it. So we just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all your questions. And if you have other questions, nothing is off limits because this is a business. This is a serious thing. So please feel free to ask any question of any of us or the person who invited you to this call. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much, everyone.